Holla warriors, long time no speak. I've been hiding, so I do apologise that I haven't done a vlog for a while, but unfortunately I had a lot going on, and it started with this, so I'm going to show you my new knee. So we have a new knee. I had a knee replacement in March, so unfortunately, just due to the fact that I was having a new knee, I had to clear my office, I had the added anxiety, I was drugged up to the eyeballs for 6 weeks, so I didn't even know what day it was. In fact, it was quite funny because my son said I had to sleep on the sofa in our family room for the first 5.5, 6 weeks because getting upstairs was an excursion for me. And my son said to me, I wondered why you'd be so happy in the night when I come in the kitchen. You were drugged up the eyeballs. And I was like, yeah, that liquid morphine and those codeine tablets definitely did the trick. So I was off work, and as you can imagine, with what we're all going through on this menopause, my anxiety was completely off the richter at the thought of having this knee replacement because I was worried about the downtime that might have come with it. But thankfully, what I will say is I was so drugged up, with my medication, with the painkillers, because the pain is hideous. It isn't cute, but I think it'll just be worth it. For 6 weeks. And then I was so conscious of kind of getting around and using my leg and then trying to get back into the office to do little bouts of work, that if I'm honest, it was not as bad as I expected because I was terrified. I was terrified of having that downtime, to the point actually that the day before my surgery, I just stood in the kitchen and said to my husband, I don't think I should have this done. I think I should postpone it. And this is maybe 8 o'clock in the night and I was going in at 7 in the morning. And he was like, no, baby, you need to have this done. You've been in pain for 8+ years. I was having cortisone injections 3 times a year. So something had to give. There was nothing else to do. And I have a shiny half a new knee. So I'm only 2-step shuffling at the moment. I've still got a lovely limp. But hopefully I'm doing physio, I'm doing my exercise like a good girl, so hopefully I'll be able to disco dance by the end of the year. I think it's about 9 months to recovery. But to give you a laugh about that, so obviously 6 weeks, I'm out cold. Going to have a shower was an excursion. It would take me hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes on my Zimmer frame to get down my whole way up the stairs, into the shower, have a shower, dry, come back down, because I just couldn't move my legs. So even when I was drying myself, do you know as we do things stand where you stand with your legs apart? No, I had to shuffle my legs apart on the Zimmer frame. I was like something from a sketch show. So it was like a holiday. Going upstairs to have a shower was like having a holiday. So everything else goes out the window, I did shave my underneath my arms because I couldn't even cope with that. My legs were the hairiest they've been in their entire life, but no one was seeing me. I was drugged. I didn't give a damn. So then after about, I think it was on about week 7, week 8, we were just going to have some friends over for some food because even now, I can't sit down for long periods of time. Standing up for long periods of time is a nightmare. So I have to kind of do things in little bouts. So I'll do a little bout, I'll get up and I'll walk around, I'll maybe do some exercises, and I'll sit back down in the office. So I'm still really restricted at the moment, but I do know it's going to be about 8 to 9 months before I get some level of normality. So we were having some friends over where I could sit down, I could stand up. They were close friends of ours. And I thought, right, I'll put a little bit of makeup on. So I go to look in the mirror to look at my brows, etc. Well, that was another story. I had these hairs growing down here. I've got one on my chin now. And how I noticed that was I put some makeup on and I got sweaty. And I thought, why is that sweaty by there? Black hair poking out. So, we've got a chin hair. But then, ladies, I have always, I'm a woman, let's be honest about it. There's always been a cheeky little hair around by my nipple. You've never seen anything like it in your life. There was hairs this long around my nipple. I said to my husband, why didn't you tell me? And he said, well, it's hardly like we've been in that position at the moment with you having your new knee. He says, and without my glasses, I don't think I would see. Thank you. You have never seen anything like it in your life. I was plucking more hairs from around my nipple than I was plucking from on my head. And they were twice the size of the hairs of my head. So why these hairs are growing? And then, let's get down the nether regions. So as you all know, I'm quite open with the fact that I use testosterone, and one of my followers actually messaged me recently and asked me how much I use of testosterone. I actually personally buy it online from the online clinic. It's an online pharmacy. They won't just automatically give it to you. You'll have to upload pictures of your other HRT treatment. And they make me go to the doctors to have a testosterone test. Now, if you ring your GP clinic, they will do a testosterone test for you. Now, the average testosterone for a woman is 1.8 milligrams to 2 something, I believe. Mine was 0.6. And it's just one of those things, as I keep saying, all our hormones change. Testosterone is one of them. Now, I only use a petit pois size, a tiny little pea size amount, and I put mine on my lower tummy. I lift it up and put it underneath. You know what I'm saying? We all need hammocks at this age. And I put it underneath there. And then I alternate. So I rub it on my lower tummy and I rub it across, across different areas. But that was another thing. So let me talk to you about that. So going back now to having a shave. So I get in the shower. Now, as you can imagine, just having a shower with this knee was just, it was like I'd done my good deed for the day. So I hadn't shaved down that area for weeks. Well, you've never seen anything like it in your life. It was like a forest down there. There was like some 70s afro going on that I didn't even know about. So now, what is it? Like when we're kids, we shave, we pluck a few eyebrows, you shave your legs, or if you're going on a sexy date, you might even shave them towards the top. That's about all we need to do. Quick shave the armpits. Now you're plucking hairs on your chin, you're plucking hairs around your nipples, and then I got hair down the sides of my legs and on my lower belly. How have that happened? You get to 50, I got more hairs now at 50 than I had at 21. So that was my first revelation of having this knee. So I thought I would give you a bit of a laugh today, because this girl who struggles to grow hair on her head have got hair 4 inches long growing out of a nipple. So that was my first revelation about my having my knee. And if I'm honest with you, like I said, just I'm being as bad as I expected it to be. I'm back in the office. I still have that whole anxiety when I come down here, and the anxiety from menopause is still living with me, but this surgery didn't cause added anxiety, which I thought it would. So what I'll do today is just check in with you, because one of a friend of mine is having a lot of trouble with the menopause, really, and it was like being reflective and looking at myself. And I just thought I got to speak to my warriors about this, because ultimately I think we all go through the same thing, and it doesn't matter what walks of life we are. So whether you're an at-home mum or whether you're a senior professional, we all go through the same things. And I think we all have that lack of confidence, and it doesn't matter what we're doing. And a friend of mine, I'm not going to name people, because ultimately I want to talk about my journey, but other people do not want to put that out there. So I had to catch up on Friday, and it was like looking at myself 4 years ago, honestly, crying, couldn't function, and been in work for months, didn't know what was going on, and she's a senior professional, and to see the confidence in her so knocked when she's exceptional at a job. I mean, I talk highly about her to other people and friends and other friends and things, because I'm just, I'm in awe. And to see her confidence knocked, it was like looking at myself. The good thing, I suppose, to me now is I've kind of not come out the other side, because I still have the anxiety, but I don't have all of those levels that are being so high as they were. And I think what changed for me was last June, I was so far underground last June that I didn't know how I was going to get out. And I just thought, right, you've just got to pull yourself together. And if you don't sort this out, you've got to give up work. So I pulled myself together and worked all the hours God sends, completely cleared my office, got my CPC up to date, which was absolutely a godsend, because I'm going to speak to you about that in my wins and my losses of my menopause in my next vlog, because I'll do another vlog this week. But what I want to say to you, warriors, for people who are going through this at the moment, it seems like, when you first hit the menopause and you don't have the right treatment and you're waiting to get well, it seems like it's the end of the world. And I think that we all have these what's my life about moments and lack of confidence in everything moments. And I think that what I will say to you is, while you're going through it, it feels like you're the only person going through it. It feels like it's going to be never ending. You think that there's not going to be light at the end of the tunnel. But I promise you, once you get adequate treatment, which stabilizes your hormones, you will start to feel better. Now, as I was saying to my friend the other day, my normal is gone, and I have completely grieved the person that I was before, because I know that I'm never going to be that person that I was 10 years ago ever again in my life. And I've come to terms with that. It's taken a long time, but I've come to terms with that. And I think coming to terms with that helped me build my own new normal. So my new normal now is I don't ever say yes to anything. I always say, oh yeah, I'll think about it, because I think about what I want to do, and I personally now decide what I want to do. And whereas I used to worry about upsetting people, I don't do that anymore. I say, actually, I'd really like to do this because, or I really don't want to do this because this is not good for me right now, and I don't know how to put myself in that position because the anxiety will be overwhelming for me. So I pick and choose what I do, and I'm unashamed about that. And I just think my friends and my loved ones that support me will understand that, because that's best for me and me getting through this phase. The other thing I did was I found my confidence back in work, because I got my office in complete order. So everything was overwhelming. I have an email. As I've sat here now, I've had 3 emails, I can hear them. Now that would have sent me into a spin before, that my anxiety would have gone through. I got to read these emails. They might be from Costco or Next or somebody selling me something. So it's ridiculous. But that overwhelming inside, the anxiety that comes out gives me a pit of the stomach. I still have it if I have a letter now. If I have a letter through the post, or if I see a letter from my son, I think, oh my God, what's that? And it's ridiculous. It's a bank statement. It is just absolutely ridiculous. But I can't stop all of that, but I'm better at dealing with that. And I find, and I've said this to you through my vlogs throughout the last couple of years, I do baby lists on things. So on my desk right now, I have 4 different notepads. Because I have a notepad of a big list of things. Now, if I look at that, that is so overwhelming for me, I won't even be able to do it. I would still now have to walk out the office, and I probably have an anxiety attack at the thought of it. And it's ridiculous, because really, if I put that work on my notepad right now into hours, it's probably a week and a half's worth of work. So let's get real, it's not a lot of work. But it's because I like everything done now. The menopause makes me want everything done now. And I don't like leaving things. It's the way my mind works. But I found a way to control that. And I do lists of myself. So I break my big list down into baby lists. And I do, because if I'm looking at a smaller list of 4 items, that gives me that, right, I'll do these. And then I've got another list then with stuff that I would like to do. So stuff that I want to do, stuff that I would like to do. And then I leave my big list to the side, cross them off as I do them. And then I rewrite that list, and it always just gets better. So I just found a way to kind of encompass that. To make myself just productive, really, because I was just sometimes in this office and I was just so unproductive. I was looking at this list and I'm having anxiety attacks which give me migraines, and I just go back in this circle. So I think doing baby lists for me, I've done that. And also as well, just accepting that some days it's okay to be not okay, because even though I'm on this treatment, I was saying this to my friend on Friday, so I've been on this treatment, so I'm on the estrogel, Diaz-Sutton. I use 4 pumps a day of the estrogel. I take 1 a day of the progesterone. I don't have a gap in it, because I find that makes my hormones way more balanced, and I have a tiny petit pois size of testosterone. So that is my treatment. So since I've been on this treatment for, I would say, just as we're going through COVID, so maybe 2 years now, it took me a while for the treatment to come into place. So now the treatment is in its place. My hormones are such more leveled now that I am able to control some of those anxiety urges that I had before. Now, not all the time. And some days I wake up and I still have brain fog. Some days I wake up and my anxiety is at an 8 or a 9. Now, whereas that would usually send me into a spiral, I don't do that anymore. I take a step back and go, actually, it's okay today not to be okay. That you don't have, pre-menopause, I would have bad days. So I have to look at it as okay, pre-menopause, I would have days which were just bad days. We all get them. We wake up, we don't feel right. Some of that we might not have slept. We had bad tummy, whatever. We had bad periods. So for me, I just think that I've learned to kind of accept the fact that I am going to have bad days. I deal with those bad days. I don't beat myself up when I have those bad days because I used to, I would literally self sabotage and I'd be kind of that silly, horrible voice that's in our heads all the time with those negative thoughts will be working overdrive, telling me, oh, you haven't done anything today, you can't do anything, and it would just make me worse. And I just can't give that voice as much energy and free rent in my head as it wants. So I kind of just say to myself, you're not on free rent, I'm going to deal with this. And I may potter in the garden because that's good for my anxiety. I told you I've never been into gardening until I got on the menopause. So all these women that I see now outside gardening, I don't think, I know why you do that because this is why I do it. And I love it. I grow potatoes, tomatoes, growing peas, strawberries, and I love all of that. I love the planting of the seeds, I love the growing of it. It takes time out my hands, it gives me something to think about, because when I'm gardening, I got to concentrate on what I'm doing. So these negative thoughts and this anxiety, it takes a little moment because you're kind of in that anxiety moment, but it goes. And then I do that 15 minutes and I feel so much more refreshed and clear of mind. And if I have a bad day, that anxiety will come flying back within an hour. But I just go back out. I don't indulge it. I try not to indulge it as much as I did. So I'm rambling on now because I'm spoken to you for ages. I've been on this vlog now for 70 minutes too long. And you're like, oh my God, she's like a terrible bus. She hasn't turned up for 6 months and now she turned up and parked outside and she's broken down. So I'm not going to waffle on today because I've got lots to tell you about things that have happened over the last 6 months and actually quite some achievements that I didn't think that I would be able to do. So I will speak to you about that. And I'm sorry being able, warriors. I just want to say that we are all going through the same thing. We're all feeling the same. You look at the woman that stood next to you in the supermarket queue, and honestly, I'm telling you, whether they're going through it in, a small amount, or whether they're going through it and they're having real hard issues like some of us are. Every one of us are going through it in some way. So I just think we just need to just continually be kind to each other and be kind to ourselves. As the last thing I will leave you with is what I said to my friends on Friday. Going on the menopause made me, for the first time in my life, be selfish. And it's not being selfish, it's about looking after number one and myself first. I have to put myself first because if I don't, that's going to make me worse in a place where I am with the menopause. So that's one of the things that I've learned, that we have to be selfish and be kind to ourselves and be kind to other women around us. So if your friend don't want to do anything, don't pressure her to do it because that's going to make it worse. Just give her some support because that's more likely the way to get her out, to encourage her to do something. I just think we just got to be kind to each other and give each other that bit of love as we're going through this. So I'll leave you on that. I am going to do another vlog because I got loads to tell you, and I hope you've all been keeping well. Peace out, warriors.